Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Hey.
My audio is muted. Hi.
Hello. Hey, Jaime.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Did you have a good long weekend?
Yeah, it was nice. Just didn't do much.
Yeah, me either, but that was the nice part. How about you, Jackie?
Yeah, I remember when you and I had a sync. Neither of us had big plans, and it was a lot of Netflixing, a lot of like sleeping in. Awesome.
That's perfect. Hey, Chris.
Hello.
All right. Let's get started. Jaime, your first up on the agenda. Want to always sober?
Yeah, I wrote down everything yesterday. I always forget to update it during the meeting.
No, thank you for doing that. It's super helpful for me to come in here and like see everything. It's really nice.
Oh, you froze. Think. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
All right, my laptop froze. Give me 1 second. You want to go ahead? Because I don't know. I might need to restart.
Yeah.
Okay, I can start.
Go for it, Chris.
So yeah, my work on the CI secret stuff was going very slow, and I was very sad and desperate yesterday. Was about to try to escalate it, but meanwhile, both Grzegorz and Kamil approved my first merge request last night, so I just now need one of them to merge it so I can move forward with the rest of the merge request. And I've already created one and assigned it for a review to Sean, and so that I'm ready to pass it to maintainer. And I'll try to split that remaining work into smaller chunks, so hopefully it will move faster. So the delay was mostly from like waiting for the review and not coming from the actual review feedback and the work that needs to be done. So I'll still talk with Grzegorz and Kamil how we can make it better, and should we include some other maintainers from the Verify team that can help this if they're being too busy. And I was also pinged by Thomas last night, so we have a sync later today, my evening, his morning, about the changes that happened meanwhile, and how will this affect the runner work that he needs to do. And I guess you probably saw his update, Jackie, about they basically haven't done anything and probably will start working on this soon. So that's for secrets. I don't know, like it's going slow. Hopefully we'll get it better. And meanwhile, I was working on those follow-up issues about using dedicated signing key for the token, and it was pretty straightforward and was reviewed by Vlad, and Shinya merged it last night. So there is one additional small merge request, which is adding a check for admins that will let them know if the key is broken. But it's not critical, and like even if we don't get that second merge request in 13.1, it's fine, it's okay. And there are a few other follow-up issues from that work which we created because of discussion during the code review, and basically we didn't have any demand for them, so I guess we put them on hold. The only thing that we actually had to do is change the switch to using dedicated key, and that's done now.
And I think I moved that other issue that you pinged me on for awaiting demand. And whenever I do validation with customers after we release these new features, I'll dig into that scope and see.
I think someone will eventually ask for this, but they haven't yet, so I don't see. I don't think it's that urgent. On the other hand, though, it's pretty simple. So yeah, but I don't want to add additional configuration settings that if they're not gonna be used, because they just like add noise. And
you and I are of the same mind. I want this to be like really straightforward and simple. And if there's ways that we can encourage community contributions to extend the vault integration or use case, I would like us to lean into that and create like education and community opportunities, because I think there's more that we can do with secrets management beyond the Vault integration use case, specifically around creating a separate secrets object in the front end and what that looks like outside of Vault. So if there's ways that we can empower the community to do these configuration options, that would free you up to be more of like this architect designer to review these incoming contributions and help me think through the implications of secrets management in GitLab, right?
Okay, cool. And the last thing I have, which I didn't add to the doc, is that last time we were talking, and I said I'll spend some time about doing a spiteful research on splitting secret from variables, and I didn't have time for this, so I hope I'll do it now, like this week or something. Because someone yesterday again posted on that issue that they're so excited about this, so it kind of reminded me that we should look forward. And yeah, I'll just try to do it now so we can discuss next time.
I have one question for you, Kraz.
Yeah.
So I want to give you as much visibility and celebration that you want. And HashiCorp has invited me to come talk with them about our Vault integration, but I would love to invite you to be like straight from the horse's mouth, if you will. Like if you feel comfortable talking about it. If you don't want to do that, I'm capable of creating content with you and representing your perspective and voice and walking through screen grabs or even like playing a recorded video of you doing a demo. But I did want to invite you to be on that call with HashiCorp and me, because
so I saw your mention and I didn't respond because at that point I was not very optimistic we'll have actually anything to talk about, because we were moving very slow. And that event is in August, I think. So hopefully we'll have, but like I wasn't sure. And otherwise, I don't mind. I don't know. I'm not aware about the format. Is it going to be live or recorded or like in different time zones or whatnot? But I definitely want to help you with any content that we need to prepare. And then maybe we can do it together, or I can do it, or I'm just didn't know much about the format of the event itself, and also how much of the work will actually be ready to be presented to
so it's up to us on that front. So I think we can go to HashiCorp with a proposal that we have you in the APAC time zone, so we need to do this recording, or live in the evening for US to accommodate your time zone. And that would be the approach I'd want to take. I would love for you to be, recognized and celebrated for your contributions on GitLab. So as far as next steps for that, I'll ping back Mayank and I'll start our deck that we'll use as like a shell to help the transitions and talk through. And then when HashiCorp gets back to us, they'll probably pair us with the product manager that we've been working with. And they may bring some technical resources on their side, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, I think like working on that deck and slides in parallel will be helpful, because we need to write docs for that feature anyway, and that like actually presenting to someone will help with this. It's just that there are too many unknowns, and it's not just the stuff that we need to do and it's under our control, but all that part that the runner team have to do. And if it's not ready, we basically will not, like, we'll still maybe able to present using some development version of runner or something, but just there are too many unknowns. If we have to commit now, we actually don't know what we're gonna have by that time to
well, we can also approach it from like a philosophical stance too. Like,
so you mean it doesn't have to be like a demo with working software? Okay.
We can go in and be like, hey, we designed it this way because of, and then due to some technical reason that Jackie doesn't know, which is why she's having Kraz talk about this, we chose this kind of instrumentation method. So like getting the heart of like the technical design for
Yeah.
it and why you
Okay,
made the decisions you made.
so if it's going to be like a high level overview, we can definitely do like why we decided to go with JWT authentication, how we just first gave the users the token and let them do anything, and how we're gonna build on top of this. So if it doesn't have to be like feature that's a released and we need to demo live, then we're not that restricted by time, I guess, so we can do it. So let's just start work on those on the content, and then we can decide who's gonna actually present it.
That's perfect. I'll create that out, and yeah, that'll be perfect.
Yeah, if you need to set up another sync for two of us, or we can just do it async on some slide deck or something.
Yeah.
Whatever works.
That'll be good. Okay, perfect. Jaime, since you're back, go on ahead.
Real quick before we move on to Jaime, I just wanted to ask with regards to the release, Krez, so the dedicated signing key, like you mentioned, it has just the one MR that's in review. Is that looking like it's gonna get into 13.1?
The bulk of it is already merged, so it will be in 13.1, and there is that additional merge request. I'll post links on the doc, which is basically adding, we have that command line check task that checks different stuff about GitLab, and it's mostly for like people that manage self-managed instances. And because we had problem when we initially released that feature, that some people were missing the key and it actually broke their CI. It was just an idea to have that check. So it's nice to have, but it's not needed. And the stuff that we need is already merged.
Okay, so we'll consider that into 13.1. The secrets, though, it's marked 13.1, but it sounds like it's not going to land until 13.2. Is that right?
Yeah, well, it's different pieces that all need to be like come together for the feature to work. So we may be able to merge some of it. I'm not very like confident for 13.1 because it's like basically now is the cutoff.
That's fine.
But probably 13.2. But then just because we merge our piece of work doesn't mean like the feature itself will be available.
Sure. I think I'll just update though the issue to 13.2. Since it doesn't seem like it's going to land in 13.1.
Well,
and then
yeah, I think the top level issue is already 13.2. So
yeah, so we introduced an explicit concept of secrets in GitLab CI, which is like the Rails syntax side, is what we had scheduled for 13.1. The major feature, which includes the runner piece, is 13.2. Because I wanted to be as like conservative as possible, but it even sounds like if Tomas doesn't finish his work between now and the middle of 13.2, we probably won't get the GitLab secrets handling feature in 13.2. But do you feel like your include explicit concept of secrets in GitLab CI issue will make it in for 13.1?
13.2?
13.2?
No, in 13.1, no.
Okay.
I mean, we still haven't merged even the first merge request. It's just approved, and then I have few others, and that's just not one. So it's better to move it for 13.2 and try to stick to 13.2 as an end goal, which is a bit tight, but let's see. Again, it depends on a lot of things, and not all of them are under our control. So.
Okay, thank you for clarifying.
I had, by the way, just to finish, I was wondering a lot, like how much should I split it in small MRs and stuff like this, because we want to like push more merge requests faster. But then because my main problem wasn't with the merge request itself, but with the wait time in between, I kind of also was feeling that having more merge requests can actually delay the whole thing. But I'll stick to that approach now and see how it works, and
okay,
hope.
sounds good.
All right, Jaime.
All right, yeah, sorry about that. I don't know what happened. My laptop just completely froze. All right, so last week, in the past couple of weeks, mostly been on the security issue. I feel like a broken record talking about this. I schedule a sync with the rest of the team on Thursday. So we'll hopefully find a solution. We have people from SRE team and people from the AppSec team, plus, you know, Vlad and Gregor. So hopefully we can find like a way to move this forward. But yeah, I don't know how long this gonna take.
These security issues, every time they end up taking like months and months and months. I feel like most of them are huge. So great job on that, like keeping persistent and up on it.
Yeah, like I don't know, it's a great learning opportunity, because there's like all the things that you consider and then all the things that everyone else considers, and it's like, oh yeah. And yeah, it's been an interesting experience, I'd say. Yeah. The one for serving custom 404 pages, it's waiting for review. So nothing much there. And then I reviewed this contribution from Jonathan Reinhardt.
Did you really? How was it?
It's not too bad. Like, you know, it's actually, I understand the concept is not too hard, but I wanted to get the whole context from the previous MRs, and all the discussion on the issue was like, it was huge. Yeah. It's a lot of.
He's insane. Like he's an intense cookie. So I'm really I'm happy that you were able to get through that. I know that Vlad said the previous jailing MR that he had instrumented was very complex and not very clean, not very easy to walk through. So it looks like maybe his second implementation was better.
Yeah, the second one is much simpler. All we're doing is mounting like a folder into the jail. So it's pretty simple, like really. It's just like an easier way to fix the previous issue. But for some reason, he's also updating the old MR with the old implementation, and I don't know why, because this is supposed to be the fix for that issue. Why would you be working on the other one? But anyway, I've left my review, so just waiting for him to get back to it. But yeah,
thank you for doing that.
No worries. Yeah, he's a bit intense, like with his comments, you know, like, oh, you're not following the best standards and the best practices. And this
I was getting violent. Like on the other side, I was violently screaming at the computer screen. I had to like walk away. I was so upset.
Yeah, just better step away and like let it flow. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, that's all good. And the rest of the other issues are all in review. We merged the metrics for pages for this serving and the time to serve and stuff. Yeah, that's pretty good. We just need to cut a release for pages, because I think Vlad was gonna do it, but I guess he didn't have enough time. Yeah, and apart from that, I guess for 13.2, these are the three main things on my radar, like adding the assets to the release CLI, asset support. Then we have the tech evaluation for object storage for pages that it's been dragging for a couple months now, and removing the this source configuration. I think that's a bit, it's becoming more important, because if we want to deprecate by next big, we want to remove completely by 14.04, right? So we kind of need to get started on this work.
So I think we have the final issue for removal in 14.0. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. So this is where the whole like deprecation versus removal and making sure that we announce it appropriately, so I'm not a ding dong and forget about it. So the work that you have outlined in this issue is just the last four, I guess, your MRs there. Like
this is adding the functionality, because right now the flag is in there, it's in the code, but it's doing nothing. Okay. So we want to, I guess the most important bit is implementing this polling mechanism that is step 2 in that issue.
Right.
It's going to be a bit tricky. And then eventually adding the support for just disk, for API, and then that switch to use automatically pick one or the other, depending on the circumstances. Yeah.
I think what I'll do is I'll put a release P3 on this issue for you. I would definitely want the tech evaluation for pages object storage to be first up. So just looking at any potential hangover you may have from 13.1 to 13.2, I'm going to assume that you'll have some feedback that'll eat into the first portion of 13.2 potentially. And then you'll do your extension of the CLI tool for assets. I think probably 13.2, you'll get all those MR shipped and the tech evaluation shipped. That maybe 13.3 will be when we can actually get to the remove disk source configuration.
Okay.
But I can put a release P3 on it so we know that like it's the next line priority for you to dig into. And then as far as after you do the tech evaluation for pages object storage, do you feel like you will be creating a bunch of new issues on steps that you have to conduct after that? Or do you feel like there's other issues in the backlog that you'll be updating?
I need to get back and see if we have anything, but I don't think we have much.
I don't think we do either. So that's what I was like, I would strongly recommend creating new issues, and then we can just close out anything that's in the backlog to make it as easy as possible so that the path forward is clear. I'm getting pulled into like 2 or 3 big deals that are renewing about object storage because they're looking to, do cloud native installation deployments with Kubernetes. So there's more pressure here, which is good and bad because, we need to do something on it, but we have lots of other priorities that we're trying to drive to. So, okay, that's helpful. Do you have any other questions about priority or any support that you need from me?
I guess the top priority is still the assets, right? For the release CLI. Yeah. And yeah, I don't know how, I guess my main concern is these issues that I'm working on, they're gonna roll over to this next.
Yeah, I would say work in progress work is, you always want to ship that so that it doesn't become aged and broken and all that stuff. So I think it makes perfect sense for already things in progress to get moved across the line and then focus on the deliverables, which will be your top 2 issues there.
Okay.
13.2.
Yeah, thanks.
Jaime, did you by chance see my comments on a couple of your MRs? Do you know if there's anyone else available to review since Steve is out of office?
I think, so I got the email. I haven't checked.
I think two of your MRs are held up by him, waiting for him to review, and he's not coming back till the 22nd. So
yeah, I'll try to push for. I'll ask in the runner channel for the runner changes.
Cool. Great, because it looks like we're close, right, on those. It would be nice to get them in.
So at the end of the day, that the issue was to add some tests for the runner, and the other person, Lubomir, he already added those kinds of tests. So in the end, it was great because I learned a bit of the flow, how the runner works. That was really nice. But yeah, when I was writing my tests, I look at the other tests and it's like, oh, he's doing it already. So I don't need this.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, the other changes were on the lab kit. It's just a bunch of libraries. And I don't know, like there's a bunch of maintainers there, but I feel like that project is quite stale, like it moves very slowly. So I think they'll leave it to the last in the priority. So
okay,
I'll ping and someone else from there, see if anyone can do it.
That sounds good. Thanks.
We have 1 more minute. Do y'all need help with anything else?
Hopefully not.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I have my first on-call shift today, so see how that goes.
Oh wow!
Oh my
Good luck.
gosh, good luck.
Did you get into on-call?
What's that, sorry?
Did you get involved in Tolko?
Apparently, any backend engineer with 3 months or more need to be
Yeah,
there.
but don't they make distinction between like Ruby and Go developers?
I didn't see anything on the handbook. All it says is like, oh, if you've been here for more than 3 months, you're eligible.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much I can help,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, but, okay. Cool.
All right. Well, let me know if you need anything. Just ping me. I am on CEO Shadow this week, so you know my time lag with you may be a little bit longer, but I'll try to get back as soon as I can if you need me. Okay.
Right. Thank you.
All right.
Everyone.
Bye.
Bye.